Welcome back to the GSTL. F.United versus OGS, and F.United in the lead?
Yeah,
Can you
I know. I can believe it. I'm surprised, but we've got that guy right there. And STC's still working on getting his mouse all clean. Needs a very clean mouse.
Yeah, he had to make sure the little pads at the bottom weren't worn off, so he can move his mouse very easily.
Over the break, we got to see StarTale Legends pick for today.
Yeah, we did. And also, someone tweeted me about the 2Ks in the queue. I'm going to give a shout out to Gary Oak Robotron. He was right. It was an Arthur reference. And I say Arthur.
Dude, it's from the theme song.
No, man, it's not from the theme song.
What is it from?
It's from when Buster Baxter is trying to play soccer. Come on. What? More people need to watch Arthur. I mean, no, everyone who watches the GSL play doesn't watch Arthur and Friends, but
probably not. Especially
I used to, man. I didn't have cable TV. I watched that stuff all the way until I was in like 6th grade, man. I kept watching Arthur.
Back in my day, we just watched Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street and He-Man and Thundercats.
Those were some good shows too.
They were. Thundercats especially, man. I love that stuff. Well, where do we go from there? Where do we go from
here? Well, we're going to go into this next game. It's going to be on Zelnaga Fortress.
Yeah.
Phoenix versus the STC.
TVT time. Get your tea and crumpets ready, I guess.
Yeah, man.
TVT and
You're at
tea time.
GOMTV.
That's such a great idea. I want to do like a show that's on in the afternoon called TVT and tea time now.
You should just call it TVT and Crumpets.
TVT and crumpets?
Yeah.
I suppose. We'll work it out. Here we go. Game time at the GSTL. A show for the refined Terran in all of us. All right, on the left side of the map, we have our first Terran player from the team F.United. Winner of the first game, he is
F.United, Phoenix.
All the Foreigner fans cheering him on. I think we are too. And on the right side of the map, our other Terran player. I wonder what kind of tea he prefers.
GSTL, the
Speaking of Sesame Street, we were talking about Sesame Street. Did you ever watch Cookie Monster's Masterpiece Theater?
Yes, of course. Of course I did.
I bet now he watches TBT on the Masterpiece Theater, man. He talks about that. He actually sits down and goes, I wonder who has the best TBT that eats cookies.
You know, not many people know that, but that was actually just a view into Cookie Monster's actual house. He just is a very refined person normally.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes he goes a little bit nuts about the cookies.
Well, that's understandable.
But we've seen people go crazy about Cocoa Pops, and things like that.
Cuckoo even for Cocoa Pops.
Yeah, we've seen that.
We've seen what happens when people drink Surge. It's like, Surge! Those old commercials where they're like diving over couches to get to the can of Surge. It's always fun. Gas first for Phoenix, and the opposite of gas first for our other Terran player, the STC.
Was the opposite of gas first?
It's barracks first.
Barracks first, okay.
Of course. Well, we're talking about Sesame Street. We're going to talk about opposites, learn about a few things.
What's the letter of the day?
The letter of the day is...
T! It's T, obviously.
Okay, all right.
I like stick it in your face. You're like, oh.
I was going to say L for long, as in long games. But T works fine.
There's actually two letters today. It's TVT.
TVT, that's three. Well, it's 3 letters in a row, not
two different letters, right.
Yeah. Just want to be careful.
Big Bird's going to come in here and say, well, technically.
It's like that quote from that football player once. He's like, I have 2 weapons, my arms, my legs, and my mind. It's like, well, that's actually 3, Mr. Football Star. I'm sorry. And that SCV is going to be quite a problem for a moment.
Well, Tech Lab went down very quickly.
Oh. Yeah, it actually was a pretty quick Tech Lab.
Made the Tech Lab is make the Marine. It's going to switch the factory, which normally you have the factory make the Tech Lab and then there's something with the starport. So this indicates possibly Blue Flame over.
I would have to say you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised. Well, he's actually going to make another Marine and not going to switch it right away. That's interesting. Maybe he feels like he's going to be under some pressure initially, wants to make sure that he has enough units to handle it just in case the SCC does decide to put more pressure on him. But
you like what the SCC did here. He realized it was a gas first and just poked a little bit with his first Marine. You can see how much that really comes into play with just that first initial poke. Now, the first Hellion is out. We're going to see a switcheroo here. And what he was trying to accomplish with that little poke was not to do damage, but also to get some to get some scouting information. And
Right.
he was able to kind of see what's going on. Now he can predict it's most likely going to be Blue Flame, and of course it is the Blue Flame icon.
I think we're going to see Blue Flame for our other guy, too.
Yep, so Blue Flame on Blue Flame.
Ending up being started at about the same time. Only difference is that Phoenix is going to be able to get his starport out a little bit quicker, and if he decides to drop with it, he'll be able to get that medevac as well.
Does clean up that pesky SCV from earlier.
Oh yeah. Good to get those SCVs taken care of. You know, it's really embarrassing if the neighbors come over and there's like an SCV in your base and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. It's a short notice. I didn't get all the SCVs cleaned up. I hope you're not offended. Of course, your neighbors are polite, so they're like, oh, no, we've got SCVs all over our bases. It's okay.
Well, the watchtower is held right now by Phoenix. He's going to continue to push forward. If he actually catches these Marines that are running around... Now, I think what the Marines are actually trying to achieve is to catch a medevac full of Hellions, but unfortunately, that is not going to be the case right now. The Hellions are out, and they are going to battle.
Hellion versus Hellion. Blue Flame is not finished for each player yet. That SCV is not going to be finishing that command center, and that Hellion is going to see all the Marines for the STC.
Yeah, so that medevac's not going to fly into them.
Yep, Phoenix is going to have to turn around here.
And actually, he's going to kill these Marines right now. The SCC is actually just going to go and attack up this ramp, because there's no answer for this right now until the Hellions get home.
STC is actually going to have a bit of a defender's advantage for this right now. But with Blue Flame finishing, it will be cleaned up very, very quickly.
But here comes his Hellions, and they have Blue Flame. 3-on-3 battle here, but neither really wanting to engage, because sometimes when Blue Flame Hellions engage, you never really know how it's going to turn out. Even if you have more Hellions than your opponent, you just don't really know how it's going to turn out.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, Hellion versus Hellion is kind of a wacky fight.
So basically, we've seen these two players do almost identical openings. Command centers going down at the same time, both being delayed by some sort of early attack. Second gas is up for the SCC. He's only mining with one SCV out of that, though. Maybe
Hellion drop on the way from Phoenix.
Yeah, this time there are no Marines to spot for that.
Yeah, if he can get the drop on STC, he could definitely do some damage. Of course, STC does have his own Hellions, so if he sees the drop, Phoenix just won't be able to unload anything, because dropping Hellions one by one into other Blue Flame Hellions isn't exactly the path to victory.
Not normally.
Nope, not normally.
He's only going to drop two of them. Wants to make sure he can keep Hellions at home for defense in the case that SCC tries to push out.
Now, Phoenix is also going mech back at home, so if he kills some SCVs, that'll really, really give him some time to get those powerful mech units out as well. So this is a pretty important drop for Phoenix. And is it going to happen? There it is. And not a lot to oppose the Hellions. He could do a lot of damage here if he's careful.
Yeah, he just picks up because there's nothing to kill Hellions now. Meanwhile, he sends his Hellions at the natural back in.
Oh, very nice at the natural base of the STC.
And there's a Banshee here as well. And there's actually no Vikings out right now. The first Viking is going to pop, so that's going to shut down this harass a lot.
Yep. And Phoenix trying to drop again, but again, you know, you just can't drop Hellions into other Hellions. And now the SCC coming with a counterattack, and Phoenix doesn't have a lot.
Hellions. He's got a landed Viking to help out here.
Yeah.
He's going to want to split his Hellions very well and attack where his opponent's Hellions are bunched up.
He's going to have to be very careful. Whoa, Phoenix does get a nice concave there, but the SCC...
Phoenix doing really well here.
Yeah. Very nicely done by Phoenix.
And it looks like he is going to be able to sneak past that Viking. Viking doing a lot of damage. More Hellions rallying out, and that's it. He cleans up the Hellions. Right now, worker count 35 SCVs for Phoenix to 16 of the STC.
Yeah, Phoenix is playing this just awesome. I really feel like TVT is his best matchup, too. So
I would agree with that 100%. He's going to clean up this barracks that's outside of his base, and the Vikings are chasing.
You know, we were talking about the Zergs he could practice with on the IM team. How about the Terrans, man? You've got people like MVP, obviously. You've got Yoda, Happy. Really good Terrans to practice with. So his TVT, I'm sure, will improve by leaps and bounds, and it's already looking really good. Now,
Ready to raise some hell.
looks like that barracks will finally be taken out. The threat of the floating barracks is over, Wolf. We can rejoice.
Rejoice. Uh-oh, these Vikings will do battle. And the Vikings of the SCC getting the first volley, but it doesn't matter because there's another reinforcing Viking, even a Hellion.
That's right. Hellion offering moral support.
He was scared to land. He's like, uh-oh, there's a Hellion down there.
He's like, oh no.
But through all of that, the Vikings did prove to be quite a distraction from the drop.
Yeah, this could.
Oh, he's gonna find it.
Damage.
Oh no, the Viking almost found it, but here comes the drop.
Oh boy, and Phoenix doesn't have a lot to respond to this right now. These Hellions are going to do some damage, to say the least. Oh, those are being lined up. Oh, that was a huge hit. Wow.
Lifts up, and now the natural is relatively exposed.
Yeah.
Phoenix has to have his Hellions.
He's going to lose all the Hellions.
Yep,
there
they go.
He's going to lose the medevac. He's like, I'm leaving the map. I promise. I'm not going to come back.
Meanwhile, though, Hellions coming down into the natural, very similar to how Phoenix used his Hellions earlier.
Yep. One tank there, but that's not going to be enough to really defend here. Who's going to get the first shot?
Oh, this looks really weird.
Yes, it does. Clumped up Blue Flame Hellions versus clumped up Blue Flame Hellions. And Phoenix will just barely hold that off.
Wow.
That didn't make any
even
sense.
trade.
I know.
But
four Hellions
Phoenix
are gonna beat
remains
your eight.
ahead here in supply, despite losing a lot of his SCVs, 36 to 23.
Yeah, Phoenix has killed more workers. That's a big deal in this game, in this matchup right now.
They have very similar unit counts, 2 Hellions to 2, 4 to 4 tanks, but Phoenix has 4 Vikings, and those are really going to be crucial for that air advantage, so he can see his opponent's tanks, and also he can use those to defend against Hellions if he needs, so he can do all sorts of things with these Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really, really nice to have the air advantage as well. I mean,
on top of this, to mention, Phoenix's tanks have full health, whereas the tanks of the SEC are getting low.
Very true. Oh, Vikings landing in the mineral line. He's going to be able to stay ahead on worker count. Focusing on the Hellions.
And meanwhile, the naturally attacks with the siege tanks.
look at
Like
that.
I said, they have more health.
Phoenix is just looking great this game.
He really is, man. And his Vikings get away. He's going to back up. SCV is coming off the line.
Yep,
Going to lose
back
a lot
into
of
natural
those.
expansion. Let's take a look. Never mind. Vikings killing some SCVs, but at the natural expansion right there, SCVs having to be pulled to defend against that. It looks like Phoenix might lose these Vikings, but he's doing so much damage to the SPC right now.
In fact, he only loses a few of them, keeping the rest alive, continuing to harass.
That is the last tank for the SPC. Once he loses that, he's got nothing.
And he's got very few SCVs left in his main as well.
Oh, look at that. Sieging up now.
Oh, man.
This game is pretty much over, Wolf.
Phoenix playing so well, showing great multitasking throughout this entire game, harassing the SCVs multiple times at multiple locations while pushing with his tanks. GG! And you know,
Phoenix.
we call the SEC the guy you cannot crack. He's got usually impenetrable defenses, but Phoenix cracked him today. Cracked him wide open, man. He took that egg and he threw it at the sidewalk.
He, like, smashed it against his forehead first, and then he looked in the camera and went, "Rrr!" and then he threw it on the sidewalk that was so hot from the Hellions. It cooked immediately. He put it in some bibimbap, and then he ate it, and then he won the game.
Making me so hungry.
I know. I had bibimbap for lunch, man. It's really good.
Well, that's going to put OGS down to their final life.
Yeah.
Are they going to pull the trump card?
Down to 1 heart. It's making that annoying beep, beep, beep sound right now.
I know he can hear the wind. He's over there squinting. You can hear it. He knows it's coming.
You can hear the wind. That's very poetic. I can hear the wind.
I meant to say the wind can hear it.
Wind?
I can't hear the wind. He's way over there.
The wind says it's almost time for the last player. Who's it going to be?
Who is it going to be?
I feel like they kind of have to pull out MC on this one.
I think they should.
Or that or Nada. I mean, Nada is here too. He's done very well lately.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see Top or Supernova. I mean, he's a great third player choice, but they're to use that. So now they've pretty much just got MC and Nada left.
I think it's going to be MC, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Nada.
Well, MC already made it clear that he really was eager to play against Naniwa for sure.
He wants to punch his fist.
Last time we saw the STC go up and fake out and tap on the booth, and then we saw MC come when STC was in the booth. Who's going to fake out when MC's in the booth?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of deception going on in the player selection for OGS. They're going to need to get serious now, though. I mean, this is it. This is it.
And they don't win this, they don't go to the playoffs, and Prime does.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really matter for F.United. They just need to. They just can feel good. You know, there's a pride thing for them.
Well, look at how well Phoenix has done today.
Yeah, he's got to feel good.
Wearing that new IM shirt, man. He's doing quite well.
Who knows? I did a hand motion. The camera wasn't on me, so no one got to see it. And there he is. OGS
He's not doing a fake out. He's just going to walk over there and sit down.
He's going to be like, "This is my boomstick."
Some
fist
foreign fans in
upgrade.
the audience. You guys can come down here to Mokdong as well.
That guy on the left has been here like every day for a long time now.
Yeah, he comes a lot.
So-
Gotta like that dedication.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if anyone will ever touch Leo, our most dedicated Foreigner fan ever.
Yeah, Leo he's got #1 foreigner
right.
fan dedication, man.
He'll
He
love
comes
on
all the
and-
time.
He'll live on in our hearts, GSL. And there you have MC's records. Not the best in Team League. He's actually not come through for his team in clutch situations multiple times. Other than that, he's awesome.
Yeah, you can see his win rate is about 65%. He's done extremely well in and out of Korea.
Yep.
Recently in Code S has fallen out early a few times, but that doesn't really mean that he's not a top player anymore, because he certainly is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure he's really excited since he hasn't been able to show himself at the GSL that much recently, to just come in here and crush through F.United. That's what he wants to do.
Well, you talk to this guy. I mean, this is a guy that loves a challenge. He loves to take on the best people out there and win. I mean, yeah, this is the type of situation that he lives for. I mean, a lot of the stuff he does, in front of crowds is showy, but when it comes down to it, this guy just loves a challenge. He loves winning. He loves proving that he's the best. I think with the way Phoenix has been playing, it might be difficult for him, though. But we haven't seen him TVP yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Now, the map, as we're going to find out soon, is going to be Crossfire. So, Phoenix picking Crossfire for this. What do you think we're going to see on a map like that?
Well,
I have my ideas, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, MC, when you pick Crossfire like this, oftentimes you do Void Ray all-ins.
Yep.
Remember, there's the rocks on the side of this map that you can break down. We have seen a lot of Void Ray all-ins, but also normal standard MC play is still quite good on this map. Colossi is quite strong until the Vikings come out. There's a lot of different trade-offs that you have, so honestly, I think MC, I don't think he's going to do an all-in. I think he's just going to try to play solid. I think we may even see a 1 to 3 gate expand into just a longer game. I think that's what we're going to see.
Well, we're going to see pretty soon. MC has to get his settings all ready. We saw the wind there. The wind whispering into MC's ear. He's like,
came in like a breeze.
make void rays. Make lots of them. That's what he said.
Void
And then-
rays have been kind of trendy right now. They're getting more popular.
That's the thing. I mean, the more that Terran players do that Marine Tank Banshee, the more we're going to see that Void Ray Island, just because it's such a great answer to that.
It is a good
style.
answer. It's also a good answer to 1 barracks expands. Even 2 racks can kind of struggle to hold it sometimes if it's not fully prepared for.
Yeah.
You'd be very careful about that all in.
I think I like what you said earlier, though, about MC just playing safe and going for a longer game, too, because I feel like MC would see himself as the better player if it does go to a much longer game situation as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that either.
Phoenix has announced that he would like to go to the water closet. That's actually what he said. So he's going to take a quick little break. So meanwhile, I want to remind you guys, we've got free VODs this weekend.
Yeah. Make sure you watch those, all of them. Don't sleep, don't eat. Well, you can eat and watch VODs at the same time.
Look,
You can't sleep, though.
There's a lot of threads on Team Liquid about recommended games. We've talked a lot about them already.
Yeah.
Code 8 qualifiers will also be this weekend, so
Dude,
watch that.
that's going to be awesome. I can't wait. We had a lot of fun last time. I mean, it's a lot more laid back than your average GSL broadcast. We can do things like maybe we'll see if John the Translator can keep his unbeaten televised ladder match score going. Who knows?
I don't know if he can beat my Star Fox score.
We'll have to see if we see some Star Fox as well. I mean, it's the Code 8 qualifiers. A lot of fun time. And there's a lot of downtime, too, so we get to fill that with sort of fun stuff. I mean, you'll be able to just have a sort of a window into the Code 8 qualifiers as well in a live format. That's not something you really got to see before the last time we did it, too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's a long day for us, but I can't wait to do it. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Meanwhile, also, remember you can go to m.gomtv.net.
Yeah.
Watch this on your mobile phone if you have an iDevice. You can follow GOMTV at GOMTV. You can follow me at FXOWolf. You can follow him at DoaSC.
Yep, that's right.
So follow all of us. Hashtag GSL when you tweet about it.
Do it. It's true.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say 2 things. One was about the mobile site, and that is I actually have it linked on my desktop bookmarks bar, too, because it's the easiest way to just find out the upcoming matches. You just click it, it's right there.
It's very simple.
The other thing I was going to say is if we're talking about VODs, watch Lennox versus Clyde. That was a really entertaining series. And also Clyde versus Trickster. Any games those two play against each other tend to be very entertaining games as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely watch those. go back if there's ever a player you've heard about or you hear references to. If you ever thought, I wish I had Season 2, bought so I could watch the VOD. Just do that stuff this week, and it's completely free. You can watch anything, any game ever. Watch it. You watch little documentaries and things like that, everything.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff on GOMCam as well. That's all the documentary stuff. The music is going. That means it's time to jump into the game very soon. Phoenix versus OGSMC. Is OGS going to make the playoffs? Their fate rests in the very capable hands of MC, or should I say the fist of OGSMC. Here we go. I almost said OGSTL, but it's just the GSTL. Also OGSTL. There's one of their players right now. Let's get into the game.